never buy a home in an HOA. I know it sounds extreme, but hear me out. A few years ago, I owned a condo in a building that turned out to be a financial prison. The kind of nightmare that makes you realize sometimes shared responsibility just means shared misery. And this isn't a heard from a friend story, it's actually happened to me. It started off great, a great unit, nice building in Massachusetts, great location, decent management, and the HOA fee wasn't that high. Everything looked clean and organized, so I said perfect. But then we started noticing cracks, literally and figuratively. The balconies were aging, the hallways needed updates, and the building was going to need a major loan to cover repairs. So no big deal, right? First of all, that's what HOA reserves are for, right? Except we didn't have reserves at that point because the board wasn't doing their job. Month after month, more and more owners stopped paying their HOA dues. At first it was 1 or 2, then 5, then 10. By the time anyone took a notice and paid attention, there were 17 owners that were delinquent. 17. They were not paying a dime. And the board and the management, they were just letting it slide. No collections, no enforcement, nothing. It was like watching a slow motion train wreck. You couldn't get off it. When the building finally realized the balconies were literally unsafe and they had to apply for a loan, guess what? No lender would give them a loan. Everyone said, no, honey, too many delinquencies, not enough reserves, too much risk. So we were stuck. Couldn't renovate the balconies, couldn't sell the apartments for 3 years. 3 years of being trapped. Imagine needing to move for work or wanting to upgrade, and you literally can't. Buyers saw the HOA financials and ran for the hills, even the cash buyers. The lenders wouldn't give buyers a loan. Eventually, the board was replaced. The management company was replaced. The property's reputation tanked, and it took years for the building to recover. It was a very hard, very expensive lesson to learn, and I'll never make that mistake again. But here's what I learned. When you buy into an HOA anywhere in US, not just Massachusetts, you are buying not just a home, you're buying into the community's competence. And if the board is lazy or they don't care, you are gonna be stuck in a bad situation. Read the HOA financials, look at the delinquency rate, check the reserves funds, and ask, how do they handle owners who don't pay? Because if the answer is we're working on it or something vague, that's not a good sign. I'm curious, what's your HOA story? Have you ever dealt with a board or the management company who wouldn't do their job and watch your community fall apart because of that? Now, let's zoom out and think about how it can be mismanaged, how an HOA can be mismanaged.
A homeowners association can take your house.
You can be up to date on your mortgage, have never missed a loan payment, and still lose your home to foreclosure by your HOA.
Some HOA boards get taken over by people who love control. They treat the community like their personal kingdom. They will tell you what color your curtains can be, your garage door needs to be open all the time or closed all the time, you cannot park the bike in your driveway, all kinds of crazy things like that. It's not about keeping the neighborhood nice anymore. It's about ego and control. And if you ever butt heads with those personalities, good luck. You're going to spend months in meetings or even legal disputes just to live your life in peace. Next, financial traps. An HOA can destroy your finances overnight if they don't budget properly, if they miscalculate repair costs, or lose an insurance claim, or simply ignore reserves. You could suddenly face a special assessment and pay a lot of money. And if you don't pay, they can actually put a lien on your house. Yes, the same place you fully own, paid for, and worked for, mismanaged HOA can literally jeopardize your property ownership. And then there's the dark side nobody talks about, and hopefully that's a very small percentage. I've seen boards hire friends as contractors, inflate management deal, fees. Mysteriously, some contracts are not being done. Sometimes management companies overbill. Sometimes board members benefit from the contracts. And unless owners are really paying attention, it can get buried in the paperwork. You'd be shocked how much money gets lost this way. And the worst part, it's your money. A bad HOA can kill your property's value faster than anything else. Buyers look at one thing right away, the financial health of the association. And if they see high delinquency, low reserves, pending litigation, or deferred maintenance, it's game over, basically. Lenders pull out, buyers walk away. That's exactly what happened to my building. The reserves were kind of low, but my lender at that time said, "Oh, we can do it." At that time, I should have walked away, but I didn't because I was so happy to be able to buy this beautiful condo. And that is happening all over the country. So what can you do if you are thinking about buying a condo or a home in an HOA? First of all, talk to residents. Look at the financing. Look at the meeting minutes. Check delinquency rates. If more than 10%, that's a very bad sign. Look at online complaints. HOA names show up in review sites. And if something feels off, just trust your gut. No pool, no clubhouse, no landscaping services is worth being financially trapped. My name is Nouné. I'm a real estate agent in the Boston area. Reach out to me with any questions. And if you're thinking of buying or selling in Massachusetts, I'll be very happy to help you. All my information is in the description, and also use this QR code to connect with me. And watch my next playlist. Enjoy.